Hi guys, before we start this video, question of the day. Why am I wrong? I DNF'd this book. I will probably DNF the series. Why am I wrong or why am I right? Comment down below. Into the video. Hi guys, welcome back. This time for some controversy. The Wheel of Time is a series that, although I did enjoy the first books, I did not finish at the moment. It's controversial in the sense that for many people, The Wheel of Time is one of the greatest book series ever written. And while I tend to agree, I also tend to disagree in multiple ways. I did not finish at Lord of Chaos. For some people that's one of the best books actually. Right before the big slog or slump, I think is the word is. I can't remember. I think it's the slog. There are several reasons why I didn't finish Lord of Chaos. One of the big ones is Swan Sanche, or whatever her name is pronounced, and Leanne, that they just keep nagging to Nynaeve about being stilled. But on the one hand, they keep nagging. On the other hand, they don't want to cooperate, while Nynaeve is trying to heal them. So this is something that is so unnerving for me. It's so annoying even. I every time I see her name, I mean Leanne, I want to put that book down. I hate her. I don't know why. Every time I see her, I get nauseous. And that was not so much in Shadow Rising. I think that began during the Fires of Heaven with all of her Domani crap. You know, the seduction and the seductress and stuff like that. But yeah, that's one of the worst things of that entire book. The second part I really dislike is the fact that nothing happens. Nobody ever does anything. Nothing happens. There's a lot of political maneuvering that just leads to nothing. I mean, I finished what, about half? I mean, maybe even a third. I can't remember. I'm somewhere around chapter 20 or 22 that I quit. So yeah, that's right before half, I think. And the plot so far can be contained in, what, 5 sentences, tops? And it all falls so flat after reading Shadow Rising and Fires of Heaven, which were actually the best 2 books of the of the 5 first books I read. And there's so many bad stuff. I mean, spoiler alert, but Egwene and Gawain's love affair, oh god, it's so bad. There are not, I can't even say the word bad enough times to encompass how bad it actually is. Again, I felt nauseous. Speaking of Egwene, the fact that a lot of the females in this book tend or are beginning, except for Min, Min's awesome, I love Min, are beginning to synchronize. I think the main female characters are beginning to synchronize in a sense that they all have the same mannerisms and the same way of thinking and the same opinions about a lot of stuff. I mean, in real life it's that way, sure, because that's what we call mainstream culture. But I don't want to see this in the biggest fantasy series that has ever been written. Well, not really has ever been written or the biggest, but you know what I mean. And except for a few quirks, I see no real difference between a lot of these women. And yeah, it bothers me to no end because it was already becoming apparent in the Fires of Heaven, but I could forgive that because that second half of that book was so great. Even though there was a big lack of Perrin and Fail or Fi or however her name is pronounced. That book was great, and I was happy that Perrin was coming back in book 6, but even he could not hope, or he could not even begin to hope that he could save this book. I have a feeling that this book was written while under pressure of a deadline, I think, by our old friend Robert Jordan, or as Roth Bluetext calls him, a fellow YouTuber of mine, Bobby J. I think he had some writer's block, maybe, and that he had the general outline for some character arcs and this book and maybe some books after that, but he had no idea how to do it, or how to get there, or how to make the characters and the chapters and the storylines converge in a way that's feasible and believable, a bit like George Martin is having right now, but that's a different story. So he split this one into book 6 and 7 and just filled up book 6, Lure of Chaos, with this tons of random crap even, and gave it the title Lord of Chaos. And I think it made me suspect that he was paid by the word, because my god, there's so many stuff in here that are just, yeah, well, there were stuff like that in the first 5 books, but that didn't seem to bother me so much as in here. It just, I don't know, it becomes less of plot but more character driven, which is fine, which I like, but the problem is there are no actual character developments for now, because I have heard from others whose opinions I trust that book 6 is actually one of the greatest, that the last 300-400 pages, give or take, so the last third of the book is amazing, but to me it's just not worth it yet. I do have to admit that I might be burnt out, because I read the first 5 books all in the span of not even half a year, I think. I took it slow, and I took about a month per book. So I guess I'm kind of burnt out, but on the other hand, I shouldn't be burnt out, because this series is supposed to be amazing. And my expectations were so high, mainly due to the fact that everybody loves it, even Mike's book reviews, whose opinion I quite trust and deeply appreciate. Daniel Green, Murphy Napier, I mean, all of the big booktubers actually love this book, and which makes me feel that it's something that they just want to love more than they actually love it. Well, except for Daniel Green, it was the first series he's ever written, so this has so this has the nostalgia factor. But yeah, I think it's something that's too big or too complicated for its own good, which is something that I don't really like. But on the other hand, I will probably retry this series. Not reread the entire series, because that would be madness, but I will probably reread this series, you know, just the synopses, or maybe even chapter by chapter, at the wiki. I don't know the exact term for the Wheel of Time Wikipedia page, or the Wheel of Time wiki in general, but I'll just restart book 6 from the beginning, from the top, while having read books 1 to 5's synopses and chapters, because there maybe sometime later this year, maybe next year, I don't know, it depends on when I feel like it. But the reason I want to read it, because I'm actually very intrigued by what Perrin, by Matt, by Rand. Rand is the only thing in this book that's actually something good for now, because I really like his character arc, and some have said it's the best character arc in all of fantasy. Perrin because I want to know more about the Wolf Brothers and the magic system. That's kind of there, but also not there yet. Same with Matt. I want to know his memories. How will he use them? What will he use them for? In what situations will they actually come in very handy? Like at the end of Fires of Heaven, for example, they were amazing. That he was amazing during that battle. You know, reading the maps Perrin had laid out, or whoever it was had laid out. I also want to see the roles that Tom Merrilin and Loghain have, because I love Tom as a character. I also love Loghain as a character, which is why I was so happy that they cast what's his name again? I can't remember. You know, the El Profesor from Casa de Papel. I think it's Alvaro something. I was about to say Alvaro Morata, but he's a Spanish footballer. I think it's something Alvaro, but I was so happy that they cast him because I think he's amazing. He's perfect for the role. There will be a war, and I have this feeling that they will be very important. I mean, Loghain has been implied to be very important because of the visions of Min with his areola, I think, meaning that he is bound for glory, which is something that I find very strange, considering he has no connection to the One Power anymore, thanks to being stilled. But this will probably be healed, in my personal opinion. I think one of my theories is that, you know, Nynaeve being a healer and being one of the most powerful magic users in the last, 3,000 years, I think, since the breaking of the world, I think she will find a way to still both Loghain and the ladies, so Siouan Sanche and Leanne. I don't know if it'll happen in this book, maybe in later books, but that's one of my theories, which will sooner or later be confirmed, because I don't think they'll be holding Loghain captive for 5 books, you know, before actually coming closer to the last battle. I also want to know more about the Sanshan, or the Seanchan, or however they're called, because I actually liked that Elaine has figured out how to make the Adam and the Suldam, and the Court of the Nine Moons, because as I remember, or if I recall correctly, Matt is supposed to marry the daughter of the Nine Moons, and the Court of the Nine Moons is this Empress from the Sanshan, I think. I can't remember. The thing I also liked was this kind of civil war between the Aes Sedai, with you know, the White Tower on the one hand, and then that small city. I can't remember what the name is, but that small village right now where the renegade Aes Sedai are now. So yeah, I mean, even though this book made me not finish it due to various reasons, I still am intrigued enough to continue the series. So this kind of tears me apart, because even though I want to know, I don't want to read it because I'm a bit burnt out. But I also don't want to read just the synopses, because, you know, that's not the same thing. You know, spoiling every reveal. Yeah, it's like just reading the synopsis for Star Wars. I mean, you know who's who, and then just everything is spoiled, and it's boring when you don't have the build-up to the reveal. The reveal means nothing. So yeah, that's something that's been bothering me for a few weeks now, actually, which is why I wanted to make a video out of it. I may continue it this summer, when I'm hyped again for season 2 of the show. I don't know yet, but I'll keep you guys posted, and like and comment and subscribe. You know, that's the usual stuff, but I really want to know, guys, why should I finish? Why should I continue? Or why should I quit? Because I DNF'd it for now, but I want to go back. encourage me or discourage me. It's all up to you. Not really, because I still make my own decisions, but you know, I'll keep your advice into account. That's all from me, guys. My mission's been accomplished. See you next time. Bye bye now.